Hey there, and welcome. If you're ready to take your very first steps into the Japanese language, then you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're going to cover some of the most essential words you need to know, all from the beginner's JLPT N5 level. Let's get right into it.
Okay, so let's get one thing out of the way. The official vocabulary list for this level has about 800 words. And yeah, I know, seeing a number like that can feel huge. It can be a little intimidating for sure.
But don't you worry about that number. We're not just going to throw a dictionary at you. Instead, we're going to break it all down into easy, bite-sized pieces. And we're starting right now. You ready?
All right, first up, the best way to make words stick is to actually build a world with them. So we're going to start by laying out a typical day using the words you'd hear from the moment you wake up to when you go to bed.
Okay, so first things first, let's get the time of day down. We've got asa for morning, hiru for noon, and yoru for night. Listen close to the pronunciation. Asa, hiru, yoru. Pretty simple, right? These are the absolute basics that everything else gets built on.
Now check this out. This is where you really start to see how Japanese is like a set of building blocks. Remember asa from the last slide for morning? Well, you take that and add gohan, which means rice or more generally, meal. And boom, you get asa gohan, the morning meal, breakfast. Same idea for lunch, hiru gohan. And for dinner we have bon gohan. See that? You're already finding patterns.
All right, so we've got our basic timeline for the day. Now we need some people in it, right? Let's move on to the essential words for talking about yourself and the people in your life.
And of course, it all starts with, well, you. The word is watashi. It simply means I or me. This is like word number one. It's the foundation for any kind of self-introduction, so it's a must-know, watashi.
All right, let's bring in the family. For father, we say otosan, and for mother, it's okasan. You see that san at the end? That's a super common respectful suffix. You're going to hear it everywhere in Japan. And if you want to talk about them together, the word for parents is ryoshin.
Okay, moving outside the family, here are two words you're just going to use constantly. Your friend is your tomodachi, and a teacher, or really any respected professional like a doctor, is called a sensei. I bet you've probably heard sensei before, right?
Okay, this is awesome. We've got time, we've got people, but right now our world is kind of empty. Let's add some detail, some color, some feeling. It's time to talk about descriptive words, adjectives. So let's splash on some color. We've got akai for red, aoi for blue, shiroi for white, and kuroi for black. Did you catch that? They all end with that I sound. That's a little clue that you're often dealing with an adjective in Japanese.
You know what's a great way to learn adjectives? Learning them in pairs. Opposites. So for big, you've got oki, and its opposite, small, is chisai. Then you've got new, atarashi, and old, which is furui. Just with these four words, you can start comparing things all around you.
Let's keep going with more pairs. These are perfect for when you want to give your opinion. Good is I, or sometimes you'll hear it as yoi. They basically mean the same thing. The opposite is bad, worry. Now this next one's interesting. Takai means expensive, but it also means tall. Context is everything here. And the opposite when we're talking about price is yasui, which means cheap.
Okay, so we can point at things, we can describe them, but nothing is happening yet. To make our world come alive, we need action, we need verbs. This is how we start making real sentences. And let's start with the most essential verbs for just getting through the day. Remember our meals? Well, the verb to eat is taberu. To drink is nomu. And when the day's over, to go to bed is neru. See? It's all starting to connect in a really logical way.
Okay, next up, 4 verbs that are just absolutely essential, especially if you're a student of, well, anything. To see or to watch, like you're watching a movie, is miru. To hear or to listen is kiku. And then the 2 big ones for studying. To read is yomu, and to write is kaku.
All right, let's get some movement in here. To go is iku. To come is kuru. And then there's this really great specific verb, kaeru. It means to return, but specifically to return home. It's got this nice, cozy feeling to it, of going back where you belong. Okay, let's put a few pieces together and see what happens. Look at this question here.
Kyo nani o tabemasu ka? This means, what will you eat today? Hey, look at that. You know that verb, taberu. You can officially understand a real Japanese question. How cool is that? Just take a second and think. How could you answer that?
You know, it might not feel like it, but in just the last few minutes, you've actually taken a massive step forward. Seriously, you didn't just memorize a random list of words. You learned the actual building blocks you need to start communicating.
Just think about how we did it, right? We started with a basic flow of a day, we put some people in it, we learned how to describe things, and then we made them do stuff with verbs. That's a system. That's a foundation you can really truly build on.
You've probably heard that old saying, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Well, guess what? What you did right here today, learning these first words, that was your first step. The journey has officially begun.
So I'll leave you with one final thought. Out of all these new words we just went through, which one are you going to use first? Thanks so much for joining me, and happy learning.